Well, today we find ourselves in Henham, a pretty little village, and we're at St Mary's. Yes, another beautiful church, and it just sits there. Now, this was actually my local village. I lived here for a few years, and that was my local pub there, the Cock. Did a fine real ale and some really nice food. It's a beautiful little village, and you know, it's mentioned in the Domesday Book. This church is literally Norman Plantagenet period, but what we have here is the site of an original Saxon church, and that was actually given to it was a great warrior called Thurston who was really in charge of this parish around that time. So we're just going to walk down the side of the chancel here, and as you can see, the first thing we see there is a nice 13th century lancet window, later 15th century windows either side, 14th 15th century. We come down to the side here to this beautiful porch. Now this porch is 15th century, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, and it is a lovely day today as well. Came here a few weeks ago intending to do this video, but it was too windy. And here we have two shields. Now they are actually the Fitzroberts and the Fitzwaters. Now this manor was held in the Norman times by the Fitz family, and ultimately by the 13th century by the Fitzgilberts. And if we look here to the actual to the west, across this field, this is where the manor stood. There was a manor here, and the tree line around the other side, actually you still got a lot of the original moat, and we'll be looking at that later. But first of all, we're going to take a look at this church. Let's go inside and have a look. And so inside, this beautiful 15th century porch. Look at it, it's absolutely gorgeous, lovely stonework, and these lovely, look at those lovely medieval windows. Let's just hope that this one's open, because you know there's been a few disappointments, but yeah, it is, it's open. Wonderful. Oh, thank you very much. Right, so here we are inside at St Mary's. Let's have a look. It's been a few years since I've actually been here. Well, you've got to try and imagine up to about 1300. These aisles, this southern aisle here and the northern aisle over there weren't there. So this is literally just a nave, solid walls either side, looking down into the chancel. And then, and there would have been over here, there was a transept, and that transept was pulled down about 1300. And what you actually get is you get the this north aisle put in, and then about 1325 they put in this southern aisle, and at the same time they actually put in the tower. We'll have a look at the tower outside in a moment. But it's a lovely church. Now there's one very important thing to point out here. Up in that lovely Gothic arch there, I'll try and zoom in, that is a serpent. It's actually known as the Henham serpent, and you know, people believed there were such things as serpents and witches and fairies and stuff. And he's up there, and then round here, and I only just spotted this earlier, I remember, there's also a little laughing devil. Look at him. And a lot of people say, well, why would you have a devil in the church? Well, actually, they thought that storms and their stuff were obviously sent from hell, and if there was an image of the devil inside the church, then the devil wouldn't really want to destroy and rip down the roof and lose the church. So that was a bit. That's the story. So let's just have a look down this north aisle. It's a working church, so obviously there's quite a few modern things like that big speaker there, but there's a lovely original façade here. Now most probably that was still here, this one here, when we had a transept that would have come around here. And what we've actually got are this later, so it was put in about 1330s. You've got a nice original window there, that's absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous, and it's such a lovely day, so there's loads of light coming in through. Wonderful. Now this pulpit dates from about the same period as the rood-screen here, and this rood-screen is in incredible condition considering it's sort of, you know, it's late 15th century, so sort of 1480s. It's absolutely lovely, and it's got the most beautiful foliage. Look at that, the carving is really sharp and crisp, and if you actually come into the chancel itself, you can see just on the door here, there's another grotesque head. I mean, they just did like their sort of their fancy artwork. Look at that, beautiful. And then up here, right up in the corner there, can you see that? That is an original part of the wall painting from the 14th century, and it's showing the apostles. You can just see one of the apostles there. I don't know which one that is, but apparently this whole chancel, there's another little evidence of something going on up there, was literally, it was completely painted all the way around, like so many churches were. They were not all just whitewashed as you see today, you know, they were just full of illustrations and descriptions, because, you know, most people couldn't read, so, you know, there were stories to be told here. There's a little bit more just up there. It's absolutely lovely. It's beautiful rood screen, gorgeous. Let's take a view just looking down. Oh, sorry about the projection screen, but as I say, this is a working church. It's actually quite nice to see that it does have a service here every Sunday. Wonderful. Look at the light just casting across the stones there. It's a gorgeous font. Look at that. It's absolutely lovely. And it's got some nice heraldic shields here, and we've got a little bit of graffiti, 1780 something PG, whoever he or she was. Lovely. What have we got around here? More heraldic shields. We love them, don't we? Wouldn't mind digging a few up as well with those harness mounts. I haven't had one of those yet. Anyway, you never know. Oh, there's the cover just sitting down on the floor there. So, but I think it's time to actually have a look on the outside. Now, I was going to do that first, but there's a lot of people around, so let's go and study the outside of this beautiful church. And this is a lovely door. I think this is the original 15th century door. Look at that. Look at the catches. That's supposed to be not original, but wow. Oh, look at that discussion. Yes. Oh, lovely. Right. Outside. So let's have a look. Here we got the south aisle here. So this was built on about 1330. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we've come down here to where we started with that nice little lancet window, just flanked by two later sort of 14th century windows. And then round the front here at the actual chancel window, what we'll actually see is some original arcading. Apparently this wasn't uncovered to about the 1970s. So that gives it's a little clue to the origins of this church, or this church that was built you know, around the Norman period. It's lovely. Then coming round the side here to the north, here it is. That's where you would have originally had the transept when they put this this aisle in about 1300. And look at that tower. It's lovely. Well, it's actually been a week since I actually filmed this church, because when we went round for the moat, it was really busy. There was loads of farm machinery up on the field, so we couldn't really get access. So a week on, we are going to continue this. So here's the church. Now the moat starts around the corner. Now I didn't think it was going to be so busy today. It looks as if it's going to be. So we're all going to walk down now and see if we can pick up the beginning of where the moats actually stood. Okay, so we've come down here. Now this is actually a private drive now, but the church is just there. The west tower is here, and this is the field where the manor actually stood. So I believe the moat would have come down here, and then we're on the road here, and he would have turned past, mostly running along here, and then we do actually pick the moat up just a little bit further down. And so here, look, you can just see, I'm just standing on the side of the road, but there's sort of green algae water there. That is definitely where well, just up there was where we just come, and the moat ran along here, and it runs. Let's see if we can see it through the hedges. Now that the leaves are starting to drop, of course, we've got a little bit more of a view. Here we go. What have we got here? There you are. There's the moat. We're coming round here, and it's going to turn in a minute because the actual boundary of the land comes up to the field. This is where all the farm machinery was last weekend, and I couldn't actually get up to see the main part of the moat. So it actually, just see, it just turns here and then dog legs round up there. So there's the moat. It runs along. What we want to see is where it comes up to the actual ground where the manor house stood, and we should be able to get a clear view. Definitely see the moat all the way along here. Okay, and that's where the manor would have stood. You've got to try and imagine a time team reconstruction there, but just there, just right in front, you can just see the church behind the trees there. That's the west tower of the church. So all here would have been the great manor house, which would have been built around the 11th century. 1,000 years of history. The Fitzroberts and the Fitzwaters, Fitzgeralds, all here.